Hello, class. Happy finals week. I thought I'd do the uplifting video and email today rather than Thursday, so rather closer to the beginning of the week than to the end, because thought you could use a pick me up. So the article I chose this week is talking about how Russia is evading some of the sanctions from the war with Ukraine by exporting urea. And I was wondering when this would happen because, to be perfectly honest with you, most of the ammonia in the world is made in Russia. So right now, with the globalization and where things are made, I mean, like each country oftentimes has its speciality in terms of like what product or service they make. I mean, if you follow with Taiwan, Taiwan is where we make most of the computer chips, for instance. Uh, Believe it or not, United States, we make a fair bit of goods here. We're about 20 to 25% of the world's goods are made in the United States. So we actually are a manufacturing powerhouse. We're not as big as China, and India is up and rising. But I mean, United States, we do make a lot of things. Although economists say we have a service-based economy, much of Russia's economy is based off of weapons manufacturing, more importantly, energy. So, especially oil and natural gas. So, but in Russia, like I said, quite a bit of the world's ammonia. And why do we care? Well, nitrogen, ammonia is where we get our nitrogen fertilizers. And without that, we cannot have the population we have today because of the crops. So, the primary uh, nutrients for plants are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And the other two are mined. Nitrogen we get from air and natural gas. So you can react that. So you can take natural gas, react it with steam to form hydrogen, and then you react with hydrogen with nitrogen from the air to form ammonia, NH3, and you react ammonia with carbon dioxide to form urea. And urea, same stuff that we get from urinating. So you can also take ammonia and react it with other things. You can burn it in air to form nitrogen oxides, and then you can further burn that to form nitrogen dioxide, and react with water to form nitric acid, or you can not burn it as much to form nitrous acid. And reacting nitrous acid with water, you get nitrites, and with nitrogen dioxide with water to form HNO3, which is nitric acid. You can react that to form ammonium nitrate and other nitrates, other explosives like TNT, trinitrotoluene, nitroglycerin. A lot of that's all made from ammonia, essentially from nitrogen. And you can also react with sulfuric acid, ammonia with sulfuric acid to form ammonium sulfate. That's another common fertilizer in the United States. China oftentimes takes ammonia, reacts it with carbonic acid, carbon dioxide, and water to form ammonium carbonate. Those are also known as smelling salts. So they use that as a fertilizer in China quite a bit. So we need this stuff for crops, and Russia is the primary place where ammonia is produced, and like from ammonia you can get a urea, for instance, and Russia is exporting urea, and you know what? There is no way we are in any shape or ability to stop it because we need it so badly. We just don't have the manufacturing capability to do this. And not only that, this is old technology, and so I mean that's one thing with chemistry and science class. It's so historic, it's so political. It's kind of interesting how all these things combine, and it's amazing how political chemistry is. Not mention Russia, we get quite a bit of our titanium and platinum, and also side things like palladium from Russia. So I haven't seen any articles talking about that, but I mean Russia is a big source of those minerals as well. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that in the future. Um, it depends on how long the war goes on. But yeah, we really need the urea and or nitrogen coming from Russia. So this is something we have. And I mean, people talk about fossil fuels and the need for electricity and the need for transportation. Our real crux with fossil fuels is our food. I mean, if you look at our society right now, and you look at it the way it was before the 20th century, we only have 5% ish of our population geared towards food production. It used to be around 50%. So with the mechanization of our industrialization is probably a better word, industrialization of our agriculture, that's what has allowed so many of us to free up in our jobs, and also has allowed the population boom that we've had. Of course, the other biggest advent for the population boom was our medical technology, mainly antibiotics and vaccinations. So those two, of the two, I think antibiotics is a little more of a big deal, but vaccinations certainly have helped with that. So who knows what's going to happen in the future with medical technology? So a lot of these things, but yeah, a lot of politics here. If you with chemistry, if you look to World War II, for instance, the Haber-Bosch process, as they mentioned in the article, that was developed in Germany. And because of the Haber-Bosch process, it allowed Germany to fight World War One, because it made ammonia and it could make explosives from that. And then in World War II, for instance, Sweden was allowed to be neutral during World War II because Hitler needed the iron ore from Sweden to make the ammonia. So it was kind of, it was an opportunistic thing that Sweden was able to negotiate that, and they negotiated the continued use of exporting of their iron catalyst for that. So and at the time we didn't. I mean, what's so special about iron in Sweden is because there's aluminum and potassium impurities that made the catalyst better. We didn't know that till the 1970s, but they knew that it worked in the 1940s. So yeah, it's interesting, like I said, with all this the union of politics and history and chemistry. And chemistry is really, I mean, of course, I have a very, chemistry-centered opinion of things, but chemistry has had profound effects and still has profound effects on history and politics. So not something you'd probably expect to see or read in a textbook, right? But it's interesting. It's interesting how this goes. But it is finals week, as I mentioned, and I really want you to be selfish. And I mean, in terms of caring for yourself, if you have a job that you have to do your job and you need to have money, then of course do that. But I mean, maybe it's a time to work a little less. Maybe it's a time to, quit your diet. I mean, if you have a specialty diet, like if you have diabetes, don't go and start, eating a bunch of Skittles. That's not a good idea. But, if you want a little extra fast food this week, that's fine. And rather than helping your neighbor babysit, maybe you just stay in and watch, some Netflix series. That's fine too. Get yourself so you're relaxed. Because this is a tough week. And get your sleep when you can. Do your self-care as much as you can. And just hold on there. It's going to be over soon. I remember that as a student, right? The stress of finals and then kind of the immediate relief afterwards. So that relief is coming. It's coming. So it'll be here soon. So let me know if you need anything. I'm usually pretty fast to respond with my emails. Although I've been getting more emails at 3 in the morning from my students, which is fine. You feel free to write me at 3 in the morning. Just realize that's usually when I'm asleep. So I'll respond to you when I wake up the next day. Okay. So take care of yourself and go and rock on this final if in Chem 161 and the rest of your finals. So aloha.